Hi everyone and welcome to Unit 3 of the course. I just want to say that at this point in the semester, I'm really pleased to see the work that you've been putting in during Unit 2. I've seen a lot of enthusiasm and excitement and interest, and I've been hearing from more students in Unit 2, and it's just really great to see. I'm happy to see the lively discussion happening on the discussion forums, on the Padlet for the Unit 2 1930s cultural activity, and it seems like you've really enjoyed a lot of the learning activities and assignments that have happened within this unit. So I think that's fantastic. And I encourage you to carry that enthusiasm forward into Unit 3. It's a little bit of a shorter unit this time. It lasts from October 23rd until November 19th, which is the weekend right before Thanksgiving. So even though it's a little bit more compressed, I just couldn't leave anything out. There's so many good things to talk about in this time period from 1945 to 1980. So this is a great point in the semester to sit down with the syllabus and your calendar, look through all of the Unit 3 materials, and map out what you want to do over the next few weeks so that you aren't compressed for time before the holidays begin. I will preface this by saying that I'm still building some of the learning activities within Unit 3, so you might not see everything populated right as we get started on Monday the 23rd, but things should be there by the middle of the week. So if you're looking for something that's listed in the syllabus but it doesn't show up yet in Unit 3, just reach out. Things should be there within a couple of days. Let's talk about the objectives for Unit 3. By the end of Unit 3, you will recognize the new social forces at home and abroad in the post-war period, define the Cold War and how it reshaped the nation and the world, identify post-war American contradictions as seen in the economy, in structural opportunity, and in popular culture, recognize the complexities of the 1960s in America and how the decade has been remembered, explain American involvement in the Vietnam War and other international conflicts and the global impact of that involvement in the 1960s and 70s, and describe economic, racial, social, and cultural anxieties of the 1970s. The Constitutions module for this unit looks at the civil rights movement and at reinterpretation of the Constitution as a result of civil rights legislation and in response to the civil rights movement. And it discusses new amendments to the Constitution up through the 26th Amendment. There are 4 possible discussion forums. Those will happen as they did in Unit 2 as a full class. So choose at least one of the 4 to participate in. There's one on the Cold War and on the extent to which the Cold War continues in international conflicts that we're seeing right now. Since I wrote that prompt, that has taken on new meaning with the renewal of active military conflict in the Middle East. There's a forum on the civil rights movement and its connection to the Black Lives Matter and to other rights movements in recent years. There's a forum about the Vietnam conflict and one about the mood of the 1970s as seen through popular television shows and songs. There are 5 possible learning activities. Again, there's so much good stuff to cover in this time period that I just couldn't leave any of them out. So do take some time to look through each one and decide which ones you find interesting and that you want to do. There's one on declassified Cold War documents, one that analyzes a 1950s film as a primary source, one exploring how the Constitution was reinterpreted in the Civil Rights era, one in which you'll respond to an iconic 1960s speech, and there's so many good ones to choose from, and one that explores cultural products of the 70s. I also want to say that if you're feeling overwhelmed or lost at this point in the semester, it's a great time to come in during office hours and have a conversation. And don't forget that as a student taking an online class, you have access to all the campus resources, to the reference librarian staff, to the Academic Success Center, to the Writing Center, to the Counseling Center, to the Food Pantry, and all the other resources if you're feeling like you need some help at this point in the term. Thanks again for all your hard work so far, and I look forward to seeing what you discuss, learn, and share in Unit 3.